Well, hello people on the internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. Okay, so for today's video I'm going to be showing you guys my top 5 books that I read in 2015. These books weren't all released in 2015 and they're just books that I actually read in 2015 and they're my top 5. I was going to do a top 10 but I thought I just limit down to my top 5. So I'm just going to jump straight into this video and tell you my top 5 books starting from 5 to 1. Okay, so coming in at number 5 we have A Work in Progress by Connor Franta. Now, this book is about the YouTuber Connor Franta, in case you guys haven't read it or know who he is. And it's based about his life and how he inspires others to like live a certain life. And it's just a really, really inspiring book and you would not expect it from Connor. Like when I picked up this book, I was expecting it to just be about his life and some funny stories about stuff that he had when he grew up and stuff. That is in here, but also it's more inspiring stuff about how to make the best out every day and all that kind of stuff. And it's just such a good book. Like I was so shocked about when I read this book how good it was. I actually did a separate review for this book because I loved it that much, so I'm going to leave that review link down below so you guys can go watch it if you want to know more of my thoughts on it. But I absolutely love this book. If you love Connor Franta and you haven't picked this book up yet, you definitely should. Exceed all of your expectations. It's such a good book. Okay, so coming in at number 4 is Erafire by Sarah J Maas. And this is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series and I absolutely love this book. This is my favourite out of the series. I haven't read Queen of Shadows yet, so maybe that will become my new favourite, but I absolutely love this book. This book obviously is the 3rd in a series about an assassin named Selena, and yeah, I absolutely love this book. I love the new characters that were introduced and the new birds, the wyverns, or I can't remember how to pronounce, but them bird things are so awesome. And I just love the new characters and this book nearly made me cry and I just loved it so much. It was such a good book and I just love this series so much. It just gets better and better as you go on and I just love it so much and I love Sarah J Maas's writing. Okay, so coming in at number 3 is Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Now this book when it was released was very hyped on BookTube and it still is very hyped, and it is hyped for a certain reason because this book is just so intense. When you start reading this book, you're constantly just flicking the pages to see what's happening and stuff is happening, plot twists everywhere, and it's just it's such an adventure and a roller coaster of a book. It's so good. I absolutely highly recommend this book. I loved it so much. I read it so quickly, even compared to how big it is. Like look at the size of it and I read it so quickly. I think I read it in like 3 days. And it's just so amazing. Such a good book and it's told in a really unique way, which everyone knows, in like all these different formats like journal entries, messaging chats like IMs to each other and stuff like that. And it's just such a cool way to tell a story. And I absolutely love this book so much and it's just so good and I cannot wait for the next book. Oh, I just love it so much. I can't give this book any much more praise. Okay, so coming in at number 2, which might be a shock to some people, is Saltonstall by Victoria Scott. As everyone knows, or if you watch my videos, you will know that I'm obsessed with the first book in this series, which is Fire and Flood, and this is the sequel, Salt and Stone, which came out in February. If you don't know what this series is about, it's about this girl who enters a race to save her brother's life because if she wins the race, she will get a cure that cures any illness, and her brother is dying of cancer, so she enters this race. And in this race, you get like a little companion, and it's a Pandora, and these Pandoras can like help you, and they're these little animals with these special powers, so it's kind of like a Pokemon. So people compare this book to like the Hunger Games and Pokemon put together, and I definitely see that. I think that this book is very underhyped and it deserves a lot more praise, and I just love Victoria Scott's writing, and she's coming out with a new book in February or March I think, and I'm very excited to read that. And I love this book. Definitely, it was a 5 out of 5 stars from read. I read it very quickly, absolutely loved it, and I don't even know if there's a 3rd book for this series. I really wish there is, and I don't know if we're going to get a 3rd book, but I really want a 3rd book. And yeah, I just absolutely love this and I think way more people need to read it. It's just so good. Okay, so coming in at number 1, the top of my chart, the cherry to my cake, is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Now this book, guys, this book broke my heart and I cried so much. I was in hysterics crying when I finished this book. I don't ever cry at books, and this book literally had me in tears, like floods. And this book is just so good, and it's becoming a movie, and I think it's coming out in March or sometime this year with Sam Claflin and the girl who plays Daenerys in Game of Thrones. I still can't remember her name. It's Emily to something. I always forget her name, and someone always tells me in the comments what her name is, but I can never remember when I'm actually filming. This book is about this girl named Lou who loses her job, and then she applies for a new job, and she gets a job looking after this guy who's in a wheelchair. I can't remember what the name of the word is for his condition that he's in, but yes, he is in a wheelchair bound, and she looks after him. He like shows her how to live her life because of what he would like to do, and he can't do it now because he's in a wheelchair. And it's just such a beautiful book, so beautifully written, and the characters feel so real, and I love it so much. It's such a good book. I have met so many people read this book, and every single one of them that's read it has loved it and cried just as much as I have. So I really think much more people should read it, and if you haven't read it, you should definitely go pick it up and read it and let me know what you think of it, because this book is just so good. Okay guys, so that is it for my top 5 books of 2015. Let me know what you guys think of any of those books if you've read them, and let me know what your favorite book of 2015 was down below in the comments. Other than that, I will see you guys all next time on my next video, so goodbye!